Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cheap Seats, coming to you from Orlando, Florida. Today, August 4th, 2020. I'm your host, Tyler. I'm joined here today by my co-host, Tim.
Hello, everybody.
And today we have our good buddy and a different producer of our audio today, our buddy, Andrew.
Hi, guys.
So, thanks for tuning in today. Please make sure to subscribe to our social media pages. You can find us on YouTube at Hush Hush Productions, on Twitter at cheapseats_pod, Instagram at cheapseat_pod, and Facebook at cheapseatspod. So there's not a ton of sports news that came over the weekend. All the leagues are back in action, which is nice to see. I did actually watch one of the hockey games this weekend. I said on the last one that I probably wasn't, but I did.
Which one did you watch?
I watched the Blackhawks and the Oilers. I watched the second period, and it was like 6-2, and I was like,
Dang.
yeah. The Blackhawks were beating the crap out of them. It was bad. But I think the biggest news would probably be the MLB, and we can talk about how the teams have been doing over the first 10 days of the season. We do have cancellations galore, especially with the Cardinals now having an outbreak of COVID on their team as well, kind of similar to the Marlins.
Yeah, but we don't know how the Marlins got theirs. At least, like, right now it's coming out that the Cardinals decided to go to a casino.
Yeah, the rumor is that some of the Marlins went to a club while they were in Atlanta, and then they had super spreaders or something. But the Marlins, I guess, are some of the biggest news that's happened in the past 30 minutes. They have put together a team, and they are going to play tonight. Yeah, they have a 58-man, 40-man roster right now because the 18 people that have COVID don't count. They're calling up their number one prospect to play tonight, and then two of the players that had COVID have recovered. So they'll finally get back out on the field after only playing 3 games. The Mets and the Braves have both played 11. I think the Nats have played 7, and then the Phillies and the Marlins have both only played 4 or 3.
Have the Mets and the Braves, that's like the only teams that they've faced each other so far?
No, the Braves played a 3-game series against the Mets, then they played a 4-game series against the Rays, and then they played a 4-game series against the Mets.
Got it. I just felt like every time.
I mean, yeah, it was
Braves
7 of the first 11 games.
The Mets.
Yeah, well, we're done with them now. I don't think we play them again until like the very end of the season if we play them at all again. But speaking of the Braves and the Mets, last night, going to cover first base, the runner-up or Rookie of the Year last year, finished number 6 in Cy Young voting, Mike Soroka, blowing out the Achilles, going to cover first base.
Didn't even get off first base. I was watching it live, and you could see like the jolts throughout his.
It was just like KD's, just saw like
it was painful to watch.
Yeah,
you knew it as soon as it happened.
They confirmed that it is ruptured, and he will be out for at least. They haven't given a timetable, but typically it's 9 months to a year before people return to play. So,
and it sucks because he was doing really well right now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he probably would have. He's a top 5 pitcher in the NL.
That's what I thought. I thought he was doing really well.
He might even be a top 5 pitcher in the league. He normally went up against DeGrom like he did last night, and like in his career against DeGrom, he had like a 1.76 ERA or something like that.
So it's pretty good pitcher's duel each time.
Yeah, so not having him kind of. I know you want to speak about the power rankings, so if you want to go through the top 5 right now.
Well, I was going to say before we move off of that, during the Mets and Braves series on Sunday night, well, not even Sunday night, during the day, the Mets had a scare. They had no idea where Yoenis Cespedes was, and they sent security to go check out his room, and all of his stuff was packed up and gone. Nobody could get in contact with him. Like, where'd this dude go? And then you find out during the game that he contacts the team and says, hey, I'm opting out for COVID reasons. Do you think there's more to this, or do you think it is straight up COVID?
The rumor is that there was some frustration with it, but what it sounds like, or what was kind of funny to see is later on in the day, pictures surfaced someone on social media, and he was at the mall.
Oh,
and they had pictures of some kids took pictures with him at the mall. So I think, I don't know, maybe it was for COVID reasons, but I think I just
thought it was very weird that he
probably
didn't left in the contract.
They were what, like 2 and 5? He probably just.
And I think when I looked at it this morning, he's hitting like 167.
Yeah, he hit that one home run in the first game of the year that won the game for him. I don't know. It's really weird contract year. Cespedes just doesn't seem like somebody that loves baseball.
No, I think he's struggled the past few. I mean, I don't really blame him because he's been hurt like every year.
Well, like even when he was like I think he likes the idea of being a professional player. I just don't think he enjoys playing the game. Yeah. Like he doesn't ever seem like the guy that's going to work extra hard or anything like that. Like he's
No.
just kind of there.
And I think like
He's always kind of showing off. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of similar to Puig.
Yeah, but Puig had more energy. Puig loved
Yeah.
being out there. But I think that the way that he could have benefited was if the universal DH stays, then I think it could have really helped him out.
Yeah.
Because like he wouldn't have had to do anything. Just go out there and hit. But yeah, I mean, he's in a contract year. I guess we find out if he comes back next year.
Yeah, I don't think the Mets are going to be a threat in the division with the Braves. I really think the Braves still have a clear shot of winning the NL East because I don't think the Nationals are very good either. I don't know what the hell we're going to do with pitching.
Yeah.
We've seemed to... I think we'll be fine during the 30-man roster and maybe even during the 28 because our bullpen is so deep and good that a pitcher literally has to go 3 or 4 innings and we can throw 4 relievers out there that are going to shut people out. But if you want to go through the rest of the top 5, we can discuss that.
Yeah, so I mean, as of right now, Aaron Judge and the Yankees are a freight train. Judge has 6 home runs in 5 games, and they're the number 1 team at an 8-1 record. Twins and Cubs are behind them with 8-2. Rockies are 7-2, and then the Braves at 7-4.
The Cubs are 8-2.
Yeah, the Cubs are playing really well. Javi Baez is on fire.
Craig Kimball's probably going to get benched because he's terrible.
Right.
He's blown. I think both their losses were blown saves by him.
Most likely.
But
their offense is killing it.
Yeah. The thing that disturbed me the other day about Aaron Judge, I've never been a huge Aaron Judge fan. Like I just think he's a power strikeout hitter, and A-Rod.
I think he's a good face. He's a very humble guy, so I think he's a good guy that you can have a face for, like of a franchise.
Yeah, but the other night, A-Rod put him in company with Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Aaron Judge.
That's ridiculous. Like, that's terrible.
I wouldn't even say Aaron Judge is a top 5 position player in the MLB.
No. Like, he can be the face of the Yankees right now, but he's not anywhere
He's not
near
Mike Trout. He's not
names.
Cody Bellinger. He's not Christian Yelich. Even though, like, those guys aren't... Yelich isn't having a very good year at all.
No, but, like...
He's batting, like, 0.95, but this is such a weird season that...
Yeah.
But we kind of briefly mentioned it earlier, but the Cardinals, their 4-game series got canceled, and they're continuing to have the outbreak. They announced some of the players that have COVID today because they volunteered to be told, including Yadier Molina and Paul DeJong. The MLB, I believe it was confirmed by the MLB that some of the Cardinals players did go to a casino.
Yeah.
So they broke protocol, and that is one of the reasons Manfred last week was like, we need to ensure that protocols are being met, blah, blah, blah. This is on the players, which who cares what that guy says. But
I mean, to a point, this is the one time you'll ever hear me say that I partially agree, and that's for the players to go to a casino during this, that is their fault. But that's the only time you're going to
obviously it is on the players, but I mean the MLB also is the one that's in charge of making the sanctions and like they should be policing it harder than they are, I believe.
Definitely. And Manfred's just kind of letting it all play out so that way he can be like, "Oh, we're going to close. Oh, never mind. Like I'm not a quitter. We're going to play." Like come on, man.
Yeah. So that's enough on the MLB. I'm dejected talking about it because we lost Soroka. We can't put up runs. I have no clue what the Braves are going to do. I know maybe there's a match made in heaven there. Maybe you give us one of those starters that strikes out 10 a game and we'll give you an outfielder.
I don't know about that.
Hey, we have a better record.
That's true.
Got to score to win the game.
We've played harder teams.
But next on the NBA, last night the Los Angeles Lakers secured the number 1 seed. Thought it was really funny waking up to Bleacher Report this morning. They were like, Anthony Davis with the step back 3 to secure the game. And they were already up by 6 points. And I was like, okay, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah,
like, I guess it did put it away. But, like, I wouldn't say that it was what secured the game. They were already up by 6. I guess it completed the game. But outside of that...
It is the first time that the Lakers have clinched that number 1 seed since 2010. And the last time that they clinched the number 1 seed was when Kobe took them and won the finals. So, nice little stat for it.
And then the other thing, the Pelicans, I finally looked like Zion yesterday. I don't know if you saw any of the highlights from that, but he scored 23 points, I believe, and was just a man on a mission.
And him and Ingram both had really big games yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, Ingram had a very, very big game. He was the highest scorer on the team, which he, in the first 2 games back, the 2 losses they had, he had no assists, which was like crazy because he averages 4 assists a game. And the only other time he had gone with no assists was like the first game of his career. So, I don't know, the NBA's been fun to watch, I feel like, in the bubble. Like, definitely a good brand of basketball. Feels like playoff basketball. And hopefully the Pelicans can catch that 8th seed. I haven't really watched any of the other games. I know the other night there was the Rockets and the Mavs, and the final score was like 152 to 146. They went like double overtime. And that's insane to me. But do you have anything else in the NBA?
This is like with the NBA, but it's not at the same time. Have you seen J. Cole say that he wants to get in to the NBA? Did you see that the Pistons tweeted at him saying, "Let us know when you want to go for a tryout"? So, I mean, maybe something there. I know he plays with like.
I mean, every time the All-Star game happens, he like destroys because he's a great shooter. He can ball handle and everything.
During the off season, he's always playing with those guys. So, I mean, hey, maybe there's something there, but
yeah,
I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I mean, for me, like that's about it for the NBA.
And then last but not least, we have I guess we're going to discuss the NHLs too today, but we'll go to the NFL first. There's been a lot more opt-outs due to COVID. Some bigger name players like Jawan James for the Broncos was one of their highest paid offensive linemen. He decided he's not going to play. And I think it's just going to continue going like that, especially if the teams keep popping off in the MLB with COVID outbreaks. There's not going to be a lot of football players that want to play. And then we've also seen a ton of roster cuts as the teams start trimming down to 80.
Did you see Odell's comments about it?
Yes.
He's not happy that the season is happening. He thinks that the owners are just doing it for money, and the owners don't look at them as humans.
I mean, I can see where he says that, but like at the same time, like they're giving you the option to opt out. You don't want to play, don't play.
But I mean, he said he's not going to opt out. He's going to be there for the team. But I can understand where he's coming from as well.
I mean, if there's players that want to play and they want to get a paycheck, it's like what a few weeks ago when Mark Schlereth was on Pat McAfee show, and I mentioned this on the pod last week. There's a lot of players on an NFL roster that like need that paycheck. They don't. The average lifespan career of an NFL player is, I believe, 3 years. That's for a draft pick. I think it's 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and those players, you don't all get paid like Odell Beckham or Patrick Mahomes. Right. So they're making, I mean, league minimum's $470,000, or it's probably higher than that now. I know that's what it was a couple years ago. And if you're only in the league making that for 3 years, and especially they are hanging out with the guys that are making $50 million a year and try to live up to that lifestyle, it hurts them when it comes to paychecks and stuff because they try to outlive their means. But so, I mean, if they want to play and they want to earn money, let them earn money. I can definitely, like, it would be one thing if, like, the owners wanted them to play in front of fans and everything, but just asking them to play, like, I don't think it's that big of a stretch. Like, they're giving them the option to opt out. If you don't want to play it, don't play.
Right. I know that some of the details came out a little earlier today on the final information for the opt-outs and everything. Players have until this Thursday at 4 p.m. to announce if they're going to opt out or not. And then if a player refuses to take a COVID-19 test, he can be fined up to $50,000. They can bring a player off the practice squad 90 minutes before the game. And there's a few other details. And Rappaport was the one that released this information.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens the next few weeks. I did see videos today of Tom Brady throwing to Gronk and some other wide receivers. So like they're definitely getting into the swing of things. He's got the flow going. He looks like a completely different man in Florida. You would never guess that he's over 40 years old.
Yeah. But their last episode, we kind of talked about the NFL's top 100. And as soon as we finished, I kind of saw this cool little stat that I figured I'd bring up this time. Other than quarterbacks, there's only one player out there who has made the top 100 every single year. Do you have any idea who that is? No. Not a quarterback. I'll give you a hint. He has 39 career tackles, 29 career drops.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Legend. the only guy. I thought that was a cool stat. To be the only other player other than a quarterback to make it every single year, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is cool.
I think it's been overshadowed by the team that he plays with, but I think this year that'll change. They've got a pretty quick lineup.
Yeah. So I know you wanted to touch on the NHL, so if you want to throw in, I did see my Bolts won yesterday in a shootout with good old Koosh.
Yeah,
Koosh with a shootout goal.
Columbus won as well, so I did like that. For today, before we get into that, as of yesterday, the NHL reported that within the first week of returning to play, they've had no positive tests.
Yeah, they haven't. I think they've had 2 positive tests the whole time they've been bubbled.
Yeah, they've done really well. And then, what I was going to say...
I will say, and you do not notice that there's no fans when you watch hockey.
No, not at all.
Yeah, because it's just, there's so much going on.
I mean, that might be...
Normally when you watch a hockey broadcast, it's so, the camera angles and stuff, you don't really notice the fans as much, especially with the glass. So I just feel like when you watch it now, you don't really notice it at all.
Yeah. But then today is a very important day for the New York Rangers as they're facing an elimination game against Carolina. There's a few other teams that are looking to even their series so they don't go down to a 2-0 lead, because in a 5-game series, when a team takes a 2-0 lead, they've got a 98.2% chance of winning that series. So the Florida Panthers, Nashville Predators, Toronto Maple Leafs, which I don't want that because of Columbus, the Vancouver Canucks are all fighting to even their series today. But for the most part, that's all I got for the NHL.
Yeah, go Bolts.
I do have a couple extras. They're just 2 small things. I'm probably going to butcher this dude's last name, but LSU's linebacker, Austin Deculus? I don't know. He was one of the first players to try out the helmets with the COVID face shield, and he voices concerns about it. He said, "I can't effing breathe in this. It's like breathing inside of a Ziploc bag." So if that's how that is, how do you think football's going to go with that?
I see a lot of the players just ditching it. I don't know if that'll actually be something that sticks around.
I wasn't sure how they would hold on to that. But then
I don't know. I also feel like it does look weird, but at the same time, I feel like, and I bet it is uncomfortable the first time you do it, but I feel like it is something they could get accustomed to.
Yeah.
I'm sure, because you think about at least junior hockey players playing with a shield on, or playing with a face mask in baseball. I guess some of them wear plastic face masks similar to that. Of course, those aren't as hockey is as high effort. Baseball's not.
I wasn't sure how far down it went, because I saw it.
So it basically angle. Covers the bot. It's basically an eye shield, but it's here.
Oh well, that's not terrible, because you have
so
the
it's a splash guard. Yeah. So it and it has vents in it.
Okay.
So I don't know. Obviously I haven't worn a helmet with it on,
right.
So I don't know what it is like in person, but I think it is something they'll either get accustomed to, or they'll just ditch it all out. They'll find something.
But then the last thing that I have is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Redbird Capital have purchased the XFL for $15 million. The Rock said, "This is my passion to venture out, or venture allows me to create opportunities for other players to showcase their talents, take care of their families, and make their own dreams come true."
So a WWE NFL, basically.
You think The Rock can make the XFL
The
entertaining?
XFL was doing good anyway. So I think, yeah, especially with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the future president of the United States, owning them, I think it's going to be fantastic. Everybody's going to want to watch the President's Sports League. He'll make us watch it. Maybe Kevin Hart will play.
That's what I saw.
Or coach a team or something.
I saw somebody tweet about it. They're like, "Man, I can't wait to see Kevin Hart play quarterback for every single team."
Yeah. Well, I think that about does it for today. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you giving us taking the time to give us a listen. Either tomorrow or Thursday morning, we'll be releasing another show that'll be just me and Ben going over and previewing the PGA Championship taking place this weekend at TPC Harding Park. And me and Tim will be back with the normal, all the sports leagues, the normal Cheap Seats pod on Friday. So please make sure to go back to our social media and give us a follow, like, or subscribe. And thanks for tuning in, guys.
See you later, everybody. Have a good one.